Before anything shattered, before anyone screamed, before Amara understood how badly 1 second could ruin a life, there was a heartbeat where the world still made sense. And if you're clicking into this story right now, pause for half a second and subscribe, because what you're about to hear starts with chaos and only gets more dangerous from here. Glass exploded inward like a violent breath. Amara didn't hear the first gunshot. She felt it, pressure slamming into her chest as the bass died mid-beat and bodies collided in panic. Someone screamed. Someone fell. Someone tripped over her foot and dragged her halfway down before scrambling away. Down! Get down! She turned blindly, lungs burning, and ran straight into something solid. Hands locked around her wrists. Amara! The voice cut through the chaos, low, steady, terrifyingly calm. She looked up. Co Jaiwan stood in front of her as another shot cracked through the club, his dark eyes locked on hers like the noise didn't exist. His grip tightened, not painful but absolute. This way, he said. I don't understand. You kissed me, he replied evenly, already pulling her through the chaos. This is the result. Glass shattered behind them. Someone screamed her name. Ethan. Her stomach twisted hard. And if your heart just jumped hearing that name, hit like right now, because this story is built on moments that spiral out of control. Jaiwan didn't slow. He shoved open a security door and dragged her into a narrow corridor just as something exploded behind them, heat licking the air. Move, he ordered. She ran. Her heels slipped on spilled liquor. Her heart hammered, so violently she thought she might black out. Men in black suits surged past them, weapons drawn, faces hard and focused. Who's shooting? Amara gasped. The Bet Consortium, Jaiwan said. They don't like surprises. What surprise? She cried. He glanced at her once. You! If you're still watching after that single word, subscribe now, because this one decision triggers everything that follows. 12 hours earlier, Amara had promised herself the night would be harmless. She stood in her apartment, staring at her reflection, tugging at the hem of her black dress. Simple. Safe. Invisible. That was the goal. Cake, she muttered. One drink. Home. Her phone buzzed. Lena, if you bail again, I'm telling everyone you're afraid of fun. Amara sighed. She typed back. I'm not afraid. I'm tired. Lena, same thing. Hurry. Amara grabbed her coat and left before doubt could root her feet to the floor. And if you've ever gone out on a night you shouldn't have, comment been there, because this is exactly how bad stories begin. Club Lumine pulsed like a living thing. Light slicing darkness, bass vibrating through bone. Lena shrieked when she saw her and dragged her into a hug. You came. Barely. Amara laughed. If I disappear, it's your fault. You look amazing, Lena said. Like glow-up amazing. Amara rolled her eyes. I'm dressed to avoid attention. Lena opened her mouth to respond, then froze. Amara felt it instantly. That shift. That awareness. She turned. Ethan stood near the bar, expensive suit, perfect hair, confidence dripping off him. A woman clung to his arm, laughing too loudly. He was watching Amara, waiting. Her chest tightened painfully. Don't, Lena murmured. Don't let him see it. I won't, Amara said. He's irrelevant. Ethan lifted his glass in mock salute. The woman beside him smirked. And right here, before everything goes wrong, if you're still watching, hit like. Because this is the last normal moment she gets. Amara pushed past Ethan, heart racing, and locked herself in a bathroom stall. You survived him, she whispered. You're not here for him. She washed her hands, breathed, steadied herself. When she stepped back into the club, Everything shifted. People had turned. Eyes faced the VIP section. Men in tailored black suits stood guard. And at the center of it all sat Seo Jiwon. Cold. Untouchable. Dangerous. Lena appeared beside her. Don't stare. I wasn't. You were. Then Ethan's voice slid into her ear. Amara. She stiffened. Ethan, she said flatly. Didn't think you'd show, he smirked. You look different. I'm busy. She stepped around him. He blocked her. Still running, he asked softly. You always do that. And right here, before the moment that ruins everything, subscribe if you haven't already. Because this is the exact second live split in two. Move, Amara snapped. Or what? Ethan challenged. Something inside her snapped cleanly. She looked past him, at Seo Jiwon. He hadn't been watching her. Until now. Their eyes met. And if you're still watching, don't blink, because this next action is the catalyst for the entire story. Amara stepped forward, grabbed Jiwon's jacket, and kissed him. Gasps ripped through the room. Security froze. Ethan went pale. Jiwon stilled for half a heartbeat. Then his hand came up, firm at the back of her neck, pulling her closer. The kiss deepened. Not tender, not romantic, but deliberate. When he pulled back, his voice carried effortlessly. She's with me. And if that sentence just hit you, comment wow, because those 3 words signed her death warrant in someone else's eyes. Amara discovered that the quiet was worse than the noise. In the days after the deal, the penthouse became a controlled vacuum. No sirens, no shouting, no obvious danger. Just cameras, coded doors, and people who spoke only when necessary. She felt herself adjusting again, learning rhythms she never asked to learn. You're memorizing the guards, Jiwon said one evening without looking up from his tablet. She froze. I wasn't. You know who changes shifts at dawn, he replied calmly. And who avoids eye contact. That's survival, she said. He glanced at her. It becomes something else if you're not careful. She didn't answer. Her phone vibrated. A message from Lena. You disappeared from the world. I'm not okay with that. Amara typed, erased, typed again. I'm safe. Please trust me. 3 dots appeared. Trust goes both ways. Amara stared at the screen until it dimmed. If you're watching right now and you've ever felt trapped between telling the truth and keeping someone safe, hit like, because that tension is only getting tighter. The first public appearance came faster than Amara expected. Tonight, Jiwon said matter of fact. You'll stand next to me. No, she replied instantly. You said 3 months. You didn't say paraded. Visibility is protection, he said. If they think you're disposable, you die quietly. That's comforting. He met her gaze. This isn't comfort. It's reality. She folded her arms. What if I refuse? You won't, he said. She hated that he was right. The gallery was filled with money pretending to be culture. Art hung on walls like excuses. Politicians smiled beside criminals. Everyone pretended not to know what everyone else knew. Jiwon's hand rested at the small of her back. Not possessive. Strategic. You don't have to smile, he murmured. Just don't flinch. I flinch when I'm scared, she whispered. Then don't look scared. They moved through the room. Whispers followed. That's her. She's not Korean. She won't last. A woman intercepted them, elegant and cold. Seo Jiwon, she purred. You surprise me. Chairwoman Beck, he replied evenly. Amara felt the air shift. The woman's gaze slid to her. And you are? Mine, Jiwon said. The word landed like a stamp. Chairwoman Beck smiled. Temporary things tend to break. Everything breaks, Jaiwan replied. Eventually, they moved on. Amara exhaled shakily. She hates me. Yes. She wants me gone. Yes. And you brought me anyway. Yes. She stopped walking. Why? So they see you, he said quietly. So they hesitate. They'll still kill me. Later, he replied. Later buys time. She swallowed. I hate this. I know. Seo Junseo chose that moment to appear. You're enjoying this, he said lazily, blocking their path. Amara stiffened. Step aside, Jaiwan said. Junseo smirked. You bring a foreigner into this house and expect applause? She's not a guest, Jaiwan replied. She's under my protection. Junseo's eyes flicked to Amara. That won't save you. She met his gaze. Neither will threatening me. His smile vanished. Careful. Jaiwan stepped between them. Walk away. Junseo laughed and did. Slowly, deliberately. Amara's hands shook for long minutes afterward. If you're still watching, don't blink, she whispered under her breath. This is where it turns. The phone call from Professor Lim came at midnight. Amara, he whispered. I need to see you. Why are you calling me like this? They know, he said. They know you're with him. Who is they? Silence. Professor. They're watching me, he whispered. If I stop talking, they'll hurt her. Her chest tightened. Who? My daughter. The line went dead. Amara stared at the phone. Jaiwan was already there when she turned. I didn't say anything, she said quickly. I know, he replied. They don't need you to. Then what do they want? To test you, he said. And to see if I hesitate. I won't be the reason a child dies, Amara said. You will be, he replied softly, if you act alone. She slammed the phone down. So what? I do nothing. You stay visible, he said. And you let me work. And the girl. Jaiwan's jaw tightened. I'll try. That wasn't enough. If you're feeling that frustration too, comment below, because Amara isn't the only one who's done waiting. The first attack came 2 nights later. No warning. No message. Just fire. The windows blew outward as explosions rocked the lower floors. Amara was thrown to the ground, ears ringing, lungs burning. Amara! Jaiwan shouted. She crawled through smoke, coughing, heart hammering. Gunfire tore through the corridor. Guards fell. Someone screamed. Jaiwan appeared, blood streaking his jaw, eyes blazing. Can you move? She nodded, sobbing. I can. He hauled her up, shielding her with his body as bullets chewed into concrete. Why are they here? She cried. Because you still matter, he said, firing back. They ran. Explosions shook the building. Smoke filled the stairwell. If you let go, he said, gripping her wrist tightly, you die. I won't, she gasped. Good, he said, because I'm not losing you tonight. They escaped into the night as the building groaned behind them. In the car, Amara collapsed, shaking violently. That was my fault, she whispered. Jaiwan didn't answer. The aftermath was quiet and brutal. 3 businesses burned. 2 men died. Junseo vanished. Seo Mira stood before the damage reports, expression carved from stone. This is what hesitation costs, she said. This is what cruelty creates. Jaiwan snapped. Mira turned to Amara. You are no longer collateral. Amara's stomach dropped. What am I? A variable, Mira said. And variables destabilize systems. Professor Lim disappeared the next morning. Amara received a text from an unknown number. You have until tonight. A photo followed. The girl. Bruised. Terrified. Amara gasped and ran to Jaiwan. They have her, she said. They're forcing him. Jaiwan studied the image. Did you tell him anything? No. But you could. Her chest ached. What do you want me to do? Nothing, he said. For now. For now, she echoed. She's going to die. So are you, he replied softly. If you move. Tears streamed down her face. I didn't choose this war. No, he said. But it chose you. He placed his hands on her shoulders. This is where you decide who you are. And if I choose wrong, then, he said quietly, we all burn. Amara didn't sleep. She sat on the floor, staring at the phone. Messages waited. The girl's face haunted her. A decision formed. If you're still here, subscribe now, because this is the moment everything fractures. She met Seongjin at the warehouse. Neutral ground. A lie everyone told themselves. You came alone, he said pleasantly. I came to talk, Amara replied. Where's the girl? He gestured. A screen flickered on. The girl breathed. Alive. Amara exhaled. Tell me what Seo Jaiwon hides, Seongjin said. She hesitated. Don't, Jaiwon murmured in her earpiece. She met Seongjin's gaze. He's delaying an alliance. Seongjin smiled. We know. There's a private meeting, she continued. No weapons. Elders only. True, but incomplete. Go on. If you disrupt it, she said, heart pounding. You weaken him without bloodshed. Seongjin laughed. We want collapse. The screen flickered. The girl screamed. Stop! Amara cried. Listen, Seongjin said softly. You will help us. Enough! Jaiwon snapped in her ear. Lights exploded. Smoke filled the warehouse. Gunfire erupted. Seongjin vanished. Jaiwon's men poured in. Amara dropped to the floor, sobbing, crawling toward Jaiwon's voice. I tried, she gasped. I know, he said. And now it's worse. Retaliation was swift. A lieutenant died. A warning was sent. Junseo returned bloodied and furious. You should have let them kill her, he spat. Jaiwon struck him. Say her name again, Jaiwon said quietly, and I'll end you. Later, alone, Amara whispered. I never wanted this. Jaiwon stared at the city. Neither did I. Why keep protecting me? She asked. Because if I stop, he said, I become something I can't live with. Before she could answer, an explosion rocked the building. A guard burst in. She's gone. Who? Jaiwon demanded. The guard swallowed. Lena! Amara screamed. And if you're still watching, like, comment and subscribe, because batch 3 is where the cost becomes personal and someone doesn't make it out alive. Amara didn't scream again. The first scream had torn out of her chest and left her throat raw. The second had collapsed into a soundless gasp that burned worse than any shout. By the time the guard said Lena's name a second time, something inside Amara hardened into a quiet, terrifying calm. No, Amara said. Her voice surprised even her. Flat. Steady. They don't have her. The guard hesitated, eyes flicking to Jaiwon. We lost contact with her security detail. One body recovered. No sign of Miss Kim. Jaiwon turned away, already issuing orders. Lock every exit. Pull city feeds. I want traffic cameras, phone pings, everything. Amara grabbed his arm. He looked down at her, eyes burning. I will bring her back. She's not part of this, Amara said. She never agreed to any of this. Jaiwon's jaw tightened. Neither did you. The words landed like a slap, but Amara didn't back down. They took her because of me, she said, which means they expect me to move. Seo Mira stepped forward, voice calm and sharp. And will you? Amara met her gaze without flinching. Yes. No, Jaiwon snapped. Amara turned on him. You said I had to decide who I am. This isn't a choice, he said harshly. This is a trap. So is everything else, she replied. I walked into it anyway. Silence fell, thick and tense. Seo Mira studied Amara closely. If you go, she said, you do not come back untouched. Amara nodded once. I already haven't. If you're still watching right now, this is the point where the story stops being about survival and starts being about agency. Hit like, because Amara just crossed a line she can't uncross. The message came less than an hour later. Old Rail Terminal. Come alone. Bring the girl's protector, or bring yourself. Choose. Amara stared at the screen. They want me isolated, she said quietly. They want you dead, Jaiwon replied. Not yet, she said. They want control first. You're not going, he said flatly. She slipped the phone into her pocket. I am. He stepped closer, voice low. You think this makes you brave? No, she said. It makes me necessary. His eyes searched her face, looking for hesitation. He didn't find any. A long, dangerous silence followed. Then I'm coming, he said finally. Not visibly, she replied. The second they see your men, Lena dies. I won't be unarmed. You never are, she said. That earned a sharp exhale that might have been a laugh. The rail terminal smelled like rust and old rain. Broken lights flickered overhead, casting long shadows across abandoned tracks. Every sound echoed, footsteps amplified until Amara's heart felt like it was beating out loud. She stepped forward alone. Lena, she called. A laugh echoed back. Baek Seonggin emerged from behind a concrete pillar, hands in his pockets, smile thin and satisfied. Ms. Ngoy, he said. You came. Where is she? Amara demanded. He gestured lazily. Lena was shoved forward by two men, wrists bound, face pale but furious. Amara! Lena shouted. Don't do this. Amara rushed forward instinctively. Seonggin lifted one finger. Guns cocked. Easy, he said pleasantly. One step at a time. Amara froze, chest heaving. You wanted me, she said. I'm here. Let her go. Seonggin tilted his head. Why? Because she's innocent. He chuckled. So were you. Jaiwon's voice murmured in her earpiece. Don't. Amara swallowed hard. I'll stay. I'll talk. I'll do what you want. Lena screamed. Amara, no. Seonggin's smile widened. Good. You're learning. He stepped closer. You'll tell us everything Co. Jaiwon hides. No, Amara said. The smile vanished. Then she dies. Something snapped. Amara grabbed a loose metal rod and swung with everything she had. Chaos exploded. Gunfire. Shouts. Lena screamed. Jaiwon burst from cover like a force of nature. Bodies dropped. Smoke filled the terminal. Amara ran for Lena, hands shaking as she tore at the bindings. Go! Amara shouted. Run! Lena hesitated, eyes wide. What about you? Amara shoved her toward the exit. Run! Lena ran. If you're still here, don't blink. This moment decides everything. Subscribe now, because the cost of this choice is about to hit. Seonggin grabbed Amara from behind, arm locking around her throat. You chose wrong, he hissed. Jaiwon turned instantly. Let her go. Seonggin laughed, tightening his grip. Or what? Jaiwon fired. The bullet grazed Seonggin's shoulder. He snarled, tightening his hold. If I die, he whispered into Amara's ear, you die with me. Amara's vision blurred. Her lungs burned. She thought of her mother's voice, of her research, of the life she'd wanted before all of this. She stomped down hard, bit Seonggin's arm, twisted violently. The grip loosened. Jaiwon closed the distance in 2 strides. The gunshot echoed through the terminal. Seonggin collapsed. Amara fell to her knees, coughing violently. Jaiwon was beside her instantly, hands shaking as he checked her throat. You're safe, he said hoarsely. You're safe. She laughed weakly. You sound like you're convincing yourself. He pulled her into his arms. For once, he didn't let go right away. Lena survived. Barely. She left Seoul 2 days later under a new identity, crying and furious and alive. You better finish that degree, Lena said through tears. All of this better mean something. Amara hugged her tightly. It will. You don't get to disappear again, Lena warned. I won't, Amara promised. I swear. If you've ever wondered what loyalty really costs, like the video, because this is where the bill comes due. The retaliation didn't come with explosions. It came with silence. Junseo vanished. Chairwoman Baek disappeared from public life. Businesses quietly folded. Names were erased. Co Mira watched it unfold with cold satisfaction. War doesn't always end loudly. Amara stood beside Jaiwon, watching the city lights. It's over, she said. For now, he replied. Weeks passed. Amara finished her thesis under a different name, in different buildings, surrounded by guards she barely noticed anymore. She slept without waking up screaming. She laughed again, occasionally, and the sound startled her. One evening, she packed a bag. Jaiwon watched from the doorway. You're leaving? Yes. You can stay. I know, she said. That's why I have to go. He nodded slowly. Where? Somewhere I choose. He handed her a phone. If you ever need me. She took it. You'll answer? Yes. She hesitated. You could have been worse. He smiled faintly. You made me better. She turned to leave. Amara, he said. She looked back. You were never just leverage, he said. Her throat tightened. Neither were you. She walked away. And if you've made it this far, like, comment, and subscribe, because the story isn't over yet. There's still one last reckoning waiting in batch 4, and it changes everything. Amara thought leaving would feel lighter. It didn't. The city outside the window blurred as the car moved, but her chest felt tight, like something essential had been left behind. She told herself it was habit, trauma, adrenaline withdrawal, anything except what it actually was. You can still turn around, the driver said quietly. Amara shook her head. No. The city swallowed the car. 3 weeks later, Amara almost believed she was free. Her new apartment was smaller, quieter, anonymous. No guards outside. No black cars idling across the street. She walked to the corner store without checking reflections. She slept through the night. Almost. Some habits never left. She still cataloged exits. Still measured footsteps. Still flinched when phones rang unexpectedly. Her thesis defense went smoothly. The panel praised her clarity, her resilience, her insight into cultural displacement and identity under pressure. They had no idea how literal it all was. When they shook her hand, Amara smiled. When she walked out, she nearly collapsed. If you're still watching right now, hit like, because this is the moment everyone thinks the story ends. It doesn't. The call came that night. Unknown number. She stared at it for a long time before answering. Amara, Jaiwan said. Her heart jumped painfully. You said you'd only call if something changed, he finished. She closed her eyes. What changed? Junseo. Her breath caught. He disappeared. He resurfaced. Silence. And, she whispered. And he's building something, Jaiwan said. Something violent. Amara sank onto the bed. You told me it was over. It was, he replied. Now it isn't. She laughed softly, bitter. You always say that. You don't have to come back, he added quickly. I called to warn you. If he can't reach me, he'll try to reach you. Her stomach twisted. Through Lena. No, Jaiwan said. Through you. She gripped the phone. What do you want me to do? I want you safe, he said. That wasn't the question. A pause. I want you honest, he said quietly. Do you want to stay out? Amara thought of Lena, of the girl in the warehouse, of Junseo's eyes when he'd spoken about killing her like it was a suggestion. No, she said finally. I don't. Junseo made his move 2 days later. Not with guns. With information. Amara's face appeared on screens she didn't control. Fabricated stories, altered footage. Narratives carefully constructed to paint her as a foreign manipulator, a spy, a liability. University emails flooded in. Funding was under review. Her visa status required clarification. Anonymous threats slid into her inbox like poison. She recognized the strategy immediately. Soft execution, she muttered. Her phone rang. Jaiwan again. He's forcing you to surface, he said. And if I don't, he ruins you quietly, Jaiwan replied. Then he comes for your body. Amara stared at the wall. So I end this? Yes. On my terms, she said. A pause. Tell me your terms, Jaiwan said. The meeting was Amara's idea. Public. Recorded. Impossible to erase. If he wants spectacle, she said. I'll give him one. You're turning yourself into bait, Jaiwan warned. No, she replied. I'm turning myself into a witness. Junseo agreed faster than expected. That scared her more than anything. The venue was a charity forum, politicians, donors, journalists. Cameras everywhere. Junseo arrived smiling. You look healthy, he said lightly. And you look desperate, Amara replied. The panel discussion began. Questions about crime, ethics, cultural power. Junseo answered smoothly. Amara waited. When it was her turn, she leaned forward. I want to talk about leverage, she said. Junseo stiffened almost imperceptibly. I was claimed publicly without consent, Amara continued. I was hunted. I was used as a pawn in a war I didn't choose. Murmurs rippled. And I survived, she said calmly. Not because I was protected, but because I learned how power actually works. Junseo leaned in. Careful. She met his gaze. You taught me. She turned to the cameras. I recorded everything. The room froze. Junseo's smile cracked. You're bluffing. She pressed a button. Screens lit up. Calls. Orders. Threats. Junseo's voice filled the room. Silence crashed down like a weapon. Security moved instantly. Junseo lunged. Jaiwon appeared from the side, blocking him. Don't, Junseo snarled. She's nothing. Jaiwon didn't raise his voice. She's everything you couldn't control. Junseo was dragged away, screaming. Amara's knees shook violently. If you stay this long, don't look away now. Comment what you think justice really looks like, because this is where the bill finally gets paid. The fallout was immediate and brutal. Arrests. Investigations. Names exposed. Not justice, but consequence. Amara testified twice. Each time, she spoke clearly, calmly, without apology. Lena watched from a safe distance, tears streaming, pride fierce. You're terrifying, Lena whispered afterward. Amara smiled tiredly. I learned from professionals. Months later, the city felt different. Not safer. Quieter. Amara walked along the river at dusk, coat pulled tight, phone buzzing in her pocket. Jaiwon stood near the railing, hands in his pockets. You came, he said. You said you were leaving, she replied. I lied. She smiled faintly. Figures. They stood in silence. You could disappear again, he said. Cleanly. Permanently. And you? She asked. I'll stay, he said. Someone has to hold the line. She nodded. I won't be part of this world. I know. But I won't pretend it doesn't exist either. He looked at her then, really looked. You changed everything, he said. So did you, she replied. They stood there as the city lights flickered on. No promises. No ownership. Just truth. And if you've made it all the way to the end, like the video, comment your thoughts and subscribe, because this story ends here, but Amara's strength is the kind that keeps echoing long after the screen fades to black. The city moved on. So did she. And this time, it was on her terms.